Every nation is built twice, once in thought, once in reality. And between building nations, science lies. Science in India has never been silent. It has been working behind laboratories, behind equations, behind experiments that shaped Bharat Viksit Kal. And at the core of this ecosystem stands, guided by the vision of Honorable Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi, India is transforming its scientific strength into India's innovation engine. A structured mission under Startup India, a framework of Atmanirbhar Bharat, and a long-term vision of Viksit Bharat 2047, where science is not just discovery but deployment.
आज जो बदलाव हम स्पेस सेक्टर में देख रहे हैं वो भारत में हो रहे स्टार्टअप रिवॉल्यूशन का हिस्सा है। बीते एक दशक में अलग-अलग सेक्टर्स में स्टार्टअप्स का नया दौर शुरू हुआ है।
Honorable Member of Parliament, startups, students, ladies and gentlemen, I think this is actually the visual or the scene which Prime Minister Modi has always been insisting on, a whole of science and a whole of government gathered together under a single roof today. We were just 50 startups in biotechnology in 2014. It is embarrassing even to say 50, in a country of 120 billion, 120 crore. Today we have gone up to more than 10,000. Bioeconomy was just $10 billion. We have gone up to 160, 170 billion dollars.
Here, this transformation didn't happen overnight. It evolved through a new chapter in India's innovation journey. Life sciences and biotechnology converged here, turning molecular research into healthcare solutions and translational innovation. Deep tech innovation met investment ecosystems, enabling startups, industry partnerships, and scalable commercialization. Science reached the grassroots, strengthening agriculture, health systems, herbal innovation, and rural entrepreneurship. Engineering research moved into execution, supporting manufacturing systems, MSMEs, and industrial technology deployment. Each conclave becomes a node. Each node strengthened the network, and together they formed a national innovation grid. And now, this journey converges. RISE Conclave 2026 is a national platform built under whole-of-government approach, whole-of-society participation, whole-of-science and innovation framework, where research is not the end point but the starting point of enterprises. India's Aerospace Innovation Hub, developing indigenous aircraft systems such as Hansa NG
Good evening
and
all.
Saras Mark II.
Honorable Minister is on the way. Probably he'll reach in another 10 minutes time. Request everybody to be seated in their respective places, please. Probably he'll reach another 5 minutes.
AI, high-performance computing, and data-driven scientific discovery across national R&D systems. RISE Conclave 2026 brings together 100+ startups, MSMEs, research institution academia, industry leaders to enable technology translation, commercialization, startup industry collaboration, investment pathways, scalable innovation deployment.
There are two disruptive technologies. One is the artificial intelligence and the other one is the quantum computing, which are now has become a foundational technology for future.
Innovation creates its greatest influence and impact when it improves the lives and creates opportunities for the society.
Collaborate and commercialize at scale. World-class scientific talent, vibrant startup ecosystem, strong industry capabilities, and above all, a clear national vision in the form of Viksit Bharat 2047.
CSIR was never just a system of laboratories. It was always a system of transformation. And now, that transformation is visible. Not in papers, not in reports, but in ecosystem, in startups, in industries, in impact. RISE Conclave 2026, where India science becomes national strength.
startups, students, ladies and gentlemen. I think this is actually the visual or the scene which Prime Minister Modi has always been insisting on. A whole of science and a whole of government gathered together under a single roof today. We were just 50 startups in biotechnology in 2014. It is embarrassing even to say 50, 50, in a country of 120 billion, 120 crore. Today we have gone up to more than 10,000. Bioeconomy was just $10 billion. We have gone up to 160, 170 billion dollars.
Here, this transformation didn't happen overnight. It evolved through a new chapter in India's innovation journey. Life sciences and biotechnology converged here, turning molecular research into healthcare solutions and translational innovation. Deep tech innovation met investment ecosystems, enabling startups, industry partnerships, and scalable commercialization. Science reached the grassroots, strengthening agriculture, health systems, herbal innovation, and rural entrepreneurship. Engineering research moved into execution, supporting manufacturing systems, MSMEs, and industrial technology deployment. Each conclave becomes a node. Each node strengthened the network, and together they formed a national innovation grid. And now, this journey converges. RISE Conclave 2026 is a national platform built under whole-of-government approach, whole-of-society participation, whole-of-science and innovation framework, where research is not the end point but the starting point of enterprises. India's Aerospace Innovation Hub, developing indigenous aircraft systems such as Hansa NG and Saras Mark II, supporting civil aviation under UDAN and advancing Atmanirbhar Bharat in aerospace technology. A leader in food science and technology, driving innovation in nutrition, food processing, rural value addition, and strengthening India's food security ecosystem. The computational intelligence backbone of CSIR, enabling AI, high-performance computing, and data-driven scientific discovery across national R&D systems. RISE Conclave 2026 brings together 100+ startups, MSMEs, research institution academia, industry leaders to enable technology translation, commercialization, startup industry collaboration, investment pathways, scalable innovation deployment.
There are two disruptive technologies. One is the artificial intelligence and other one is the quantum computing, which are now has become a foundational technology for future.
Innovation creates its greatest influence and impact when it improves the lives and creates opportunities for the society.
Collaborate and commercialize at scale. World-class scientific talent, a vibrant startup ecosystem, strong industry capabilities, and above all, a clear national vision in the form of Viksit Bharat 2047.
CSIR was never just a system of laboratories. It was always a system of transformation. And now, that transformation is visible. Not in papers, not in reports, but in ecosystem, in startups, in industries, in impact. RISE Conclave 2026, where India science becomes national strength. Every nation is built twice, once in thought, once in reality. And between building nations, science lies. Science in India has never been silent. It has been working behind laboratories, behind equations, behind experiments that shaped Bharat Viksit Kal. And at the core of this ecosystem stands, guided by the vision of Honorable Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi, India is transforming its scientific strength into India's innovation engine. A structured mission under Startup India, a framework of Atmanirbhar Bharat, and a long-term vision of Viksit Bharat 2047, where science is not just discovery but deployment.
आज जो बदलाव हम स्पेस सेक्टर में देख रहे हैं, वो भारत में हो रहे स्टार्टअप रिवॉल्यूशन का हिस्सा है। बीते एक दशक में अलग-अलग सेक्टर्स में स्टार्टअप्स का नया दौर शुरू हुआ है।
Honorable Member of Parliament, startups, students, ladies and gentlemen, I think this is actually the visual or the scene which Prime Minister Modi has always been insisting on. A whole of science and a whole of government gathered together under a single roof today. We were just 50 startups in biotechnology in 2014. It is embarrassing even to say 50, in a country of 120 billion, 120 crore. Today we have gone up to more than 10,000. Bioeconomy was just $10 billion. We have gone up to 160, 170 billion dollars.
Here, this transformation didn't happen overnight. It evolved through a new chapter in India's innovation journey. Life sciences and biotechnology converged here, turning molecular research into healthcare solutions and translational innovation. Deep tech innovation met investment ecosystems, enabling startups, industry partnerships, and scalable commercialization. Science reached the grassroots, strengthening agriculture, health systems, herbal innovation, and rural entrepreneurship. Engineering research moved into execution, supporting manufacturing systems, MSMEs, and industrial technology deployment. Each conclave becomes a node. Each node strengthened the network, and together they formed a national innovation grid. And now, this journey converges. RISE Conclave 2026 is a national platform built under whole-of-government approach, whole-of-society participation, whole-of-science and innovation framework, where research is not the end point but the starting point of enterprises. India's Aerospace Innovation Hub, developing indigenous aircraft systems such as Hansa NG and Saras Mark II, supporting civil aviation under UDAN and advancing Atmanirbhar Bharat in aerospace technology. A leader in food science and technology, driving innovation in nutrition, food processing, rural value addition, and strengthening India's food security ecosystem. The computational intelligence backbone of CSIR, enabling AI, high-performance computing, and data-driven scientific discovery across national R&D systems. RISE Conclave 2026 brings together 100+ startups, MSMEs Research Institution Academia, industry leaders to enable technology translation, commercialization, startup industry collaboration, investment pathways, scalable innovation deployment.
There are two disruptive technologies. One is the artificial intelligence and other one is the quantum computing, which are now has become a foundational technology for future.
Innovation creates its greatest influence and impact when it improves the lives and creates opportunities for the society.
Collaborate and commercialize at scale. World-class scientific talent, a vibrant startup ecosystem, strong industry capabilities, and above all, a clear national vision in the form of Viksit Bharat 2047.
CSIR was never just a system of laboratories. It was always a system of transformation. And now, that transformation is visible. Not in papers, not in reports, but in ecosystem, in startups, in industries, in impact. RISE Conclave 2026, where India's science becomes national strength. Every nation is built twice, once in thought, once in reality. And between building nations, science lies. Science in India has never been silent. It has been working behind laboratories, behind equations, behind experiments that shaped Bharat Viksit Kal. And at the core of this ecosystem stands, guided by the vision of Honorable Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi, India is transforming its scientific strength into India's innovation engine. A structured mission under Startup India, a framework of Atmanirbhar Bharat.
Friends, the Honorable Minister has arrived. We'll be starting the program shortly.
Not just discovery, but deployment.
आज जो बदलाव हम स्पेस सेक्टर में देख रहे हैं, वो भारत में हो रहे स्टार्टअप रिवॉल्यूशन का हिस्सा है। बीते एक दशक में अलग अलग सेक्टर्स में स्टार्टअप्स का नया दौर शुरू हुआ है।
Honorable Member of Parliament, startups, students, ladies and gentlemen, I think this is actually the visual or the scene which Prime Minister Modi has always been insisting on. A whole of science and a whole of government gathered together under a single roof today. We were just 50 startups in biotechnology in 2014. It is embarrassing even to say 50, in a country of 120 million.
nation is built twice, once in thought, once in reality. And between building nations, science lies.
for the society.
Collaborate and commercialize at scale. World-class scientific talent, a vibrant startup ecosystem, strong industry capabilities, and above all, a clear national vision in the form of Viksit Bharat 2047.
CSIR was never just a system of laboratories. It was always a system of transformation. And now, that transformation is visible. Not in papers, not in reports, but in ecosystem, in startups, in industries, in impact. RISE Conclave 2026, where India science becomes national strength.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. On behalf of the organizing institutions, CSIR NAL, CSIR 4PA, and CSIR CFTRA, it is my privilege to extend a warm welcome to our Honorable Minister, Dr. Jitendra Singh, onto the stage. Dr. N. Kalai Selvi, Secretary DSIR and Director General CSIR. Dr. V. Narayanan, Secretary, Department of Space and Chairman ISRO. Directors of To begin the auspicious occasion, I request everyone to kindly we'll go with the lamp lightings. The lighting of the ceremonial lamp symbolizes the triumph of knowledge over ignorance and enlightenment over darkness. May I now request our Honorable Minister, Secretary DSIR and DGCSIR and other distinguished dignitaries on the dais to kindly proceed with the lighting of the lamp and inauguration of the RISE Conclave. With the lighting of the lamp, the RISE Conclave 2026 is formally inaugurated. Let us give our dignitaries a big round of applause, please. I now have the pleasure of inviting Dr. N. Kalai Selvi, Secretary DSIR and DGCSIR to deliver the welcome address and set the context for this important conclave.
Namaskar, Vanakkam, and pleasant evening to each and every one of you. Most respected and Honorable Minister of Science and Technology and Ministry of Earth Sciences and the Vice President of CSIR, Dr. Jitendra Singh ji. Distinguished Fellow Secretary, Dr. Narayanan ji. Distinguished guests on the dais, off the dais, my CSIR family. my Ministry of Science and Technology family, industry friends, MSME, startup, entrepreneurs, self-help groups, students, scholars, well-wishers of science and technology. Namaskara to each and every one of you. Today is a very great day because we are now entering into the 6th edition of this RISE Conclave. It is the great and the very unique idea of our Honorable Minister of Science and Technology that when the Honorable Prime Minister wanted the scientific departments to do any kind of a scientific celebrations and announcements and declarations in the form of whole of government and by involving whole of society to disseminate whole of science and technology for the benefit of mankind, our minister came up with this great idea of conducting this kind of a RISE conclave, meaning is R stands for research, I stands for industry, S stands for startup, and E stands for entrepreneurs. So this kind of a RISE conclave, Honorable Minister advised to CSIR to conduct it in as many cities as possible by covering the populations in as many states as possible. So whenever we had this kind of a RISE conclave, though CSIR is the coordinating and the organizing very important role is played by CSIR, we always get other ministries onboarded. In many cases, it is DST, DBT, ISRO, Ministry of Earth Sciences, Department of Atomic Energy, ICAR, ICMR, and also the nearby academia, apart from involving the industry, startups, and MSMEs. So it is, we are doing it in Bengaluru, the Silicon Valley of India, the place which is known for mainly the software. Now Bengaluru is becoming popular for a number of other very important scientific revolutions also. When Bengaluru is getting this kind of a scientific visibility in the name of space or in the name of aerospace, we are there. If it is space, Dr. Narayanan is there. So the ISRO only made the whole country to feel proud, and India got its greatest and the pride moments in the global arena. This one more time we can give a good round of applause and we can encourage our team ISRO, because in as many platforms as possible, without any hesitation, we take the example of ISRO to showcase to the society, on to the researchers, how best a teamwork can succeed and what do we really mean by mission projects. So now we are having ISRO onboarded for this conclave. And similarly, when it comes to defense, we have DRDO. And when it comes to aerospace or for civilian applications, it is our National Aerospace Laboratory, which is situated in Bengaluru, which is taking the pride by way of coming up with the first two-seater Hansa NG3, which is a pilot aircraft training, giving one particular aircraft, completely designed, developed, demonstrated, now getting manufactured also, along with the production partner in their campus. We have one more Food Technology Research Institute in Mysuru, so which is Central Food Technology Research Institute. They made us to feel very proud in the global arena by way of joining hands with McDonald's. So whenever you go to McDonald's, if at all you happen to see a millet bun, it is the CSIR CFTRI's technology. Once Amul was talking about CFTRI, now McDonald's is talking about CFTRI. And now we have a newborn baby, like a very freshly constituted one new laboratory, which is the 4th Paradigm Institute, which is going to be the symbol of AI and ML related research of CSIR. So our food phase, food means I'm talking about eatable, FOOD, the phase of food, phase of AI and ML, phase of aerospace. All the 3 laboratories are here in this Karnataka state only, and therefore we thought that it is better to have the 6th edition in Karnataka, wherein we can make the entire state of Karnataka to understand what are the bandwidths at which and what is the scale at which CSIR can come up with the technology, disseminate technology, and we can touch the lives of common men as well as the urbanization and also the developments related to that. So when I talk about this CSIR, I should definitely say heartfelt thanks to our Honorable Minister. So even though it's a weekend, Honorable Minister actually made it as a point, whenever you are making the conclave, don't ever use the weekdays. You just choose only the weekends so that you can also have the fullest concentration and you can get the attention and the attraction also from the general public and also from the youngsters. And sir, thank you so very much for your gracious presence. 1.5 hours, the flight got delayed, and Bengaluru roads made Honorable Minister to travel for 2+ hours. And finally, Honorable Minister, without even making all those points as difficulties, he is gracing the occasion with all of us just to motivate us, strengthen us, support us, and to say that I am there with you to give all possible supports. Thank you very much, sir, for your all-time support and your gracious presence. And I should definitely thank Dr. Narayanan. Over phone, I said that though we are coordinating, I just, with a lot of love and affection, I just gave a kind of a dictation. You should be here for day 1 and day 2 also. And sir, thank you very much for having listened to me. He cancelled many of his programs and made his presence today and tomorrow. Thank you so very much for your presence. And we are deeply, deeply impressed by each and every one of you, because I am told from morning all of you are here. You had number of technical sessions, and I'm being told the participation is very overwhelming. Around 1,200 participants you have already registered. 800 plus were waiting from morning, and more than 100 stalls are there. More than 40 plus organizations are taking part, and this kind of a widespread participation gives us more and more hope, and we believe that CSIR, with this kind of different editions of conclaves in different cities, will be able to come up to the expectations of the society. And I wish to thank the national leadership and the scientific leadership for having given this kind of wonderful and very unique ideas, by means of which CSIR is gaining its name as well as its fame in the public domain. With these few words, it will not be getting fulfilled if I give you a great and a heartfelt warm welcome to each and every one of you who are really making this event a very memorable and a gracious occasion. Hearty welcome to each and every one of you. Thank you so very much. Namaskar.
Thank you, madam, for your wonderful welcome address. I now invite a distinguished scientist and visionary leader who has made significant contributions to India's space program, Dr. V. Narayanan, Chairman ISRO, to speak.
Ellariku namaskara. Very, very good evening to all of you. Honorable Minister of State, Sijjadendra Singh ji, DG CSIR, Dr. Kalek Directors of CSIR, we have got NAL Director, CFTR Director, and 4P Institute Director, and all the distinguished guests, press persons, and my dear friends, very, very good evening to all of you. First of all, I have to thank Honorable Minister. Only because of him, I am here. Because whenever he takes a review of the scientific departments, he ensures that atomic energy and space is also part of that review. And that is one of the reasons probably we are always together. And I have to thank Honorable Minister first of all, then my close friend and your secretary, Dr. Kalek, one of the dynamic leaders, dynamic secretary of Government of India, for ensuring that I am here today. And dear friends, I feel greatly humbled and honored to be part of the 6th edition of RISE Conclave. In fact, even though I have worked in space program for 42 years, today I felt I have come to the ground reality by seeing a couple of products like cashew nut fruit. You know, my place, my native place is full of cashew nut fruit. 70% of that we used to waste. And I am seeing some industry putting that. And so many products, food industries, starting from aerospace product to food products. I think it is mind-boggling, and you have done extremely well. First of all, let me compliment each and every one from the CSIR lab for doing this conclave in a very, very befitting manner under the guidance of the DG CSIR. You know, over the past decade, India has rapidly evolved and grown. One of the world's largest startup ecosystem has really grown. More than 2 lakh startups as on December 2025. If you look at 2014, hardly few private startup companies with up to approximately $1 billion is the type of investment. But today, after 12 years, 2026, when you see almost 120 major companies with $350 billion investment, is visionary leadership in the growth of the country. Of course, our minister leading from the front, the science and technology departments, last 12 years, an outstanding personality, a great leader, a extremely friendly nature, makes all of us to work 24/7 without any tiredness. That is only because of him, I will tell. Probably those who are coming in contact, you will get lot of enthusiasm. And one of the great qualities, we are working in the space, a lot of things are happening. I would like to straightaway go, because of him, cooperative, technologic energy, with I think it. Today, we are going to work in a project with the DAE under the guidance of our minister, wherein we are going to develop RHU heaters. Thereby, this type of landers will survive for 100, 200 days instead of 14 days. This is one of the area we are collaborating. Coming to another area where he is leading the DST. Today we are working on the DST. Today we are working on the Gaganyaan program, sending our own Gaganyaan 3s to space, using our own Gaganyaan 3s to space, using our launcher. And towards that, one of the activity under DST what we have taken up is the space medicine. In fact, almost 6 months back, we signed a MOU with the Science and Technology Department, the Sri Chitra Research Institute, which is a part of DST department. We have signed a MOU for the space medicine. Another important department, what he is leading, is the biotech department. You all know Axiom program, Subhash Shukla, who was sent to space. First Gaganyaan 3 was sent to the International Space Station based on the direction. First Gaganyaan 3 was sent to the International Space Station based on the direction from Honorable Prime Minister of India. He carried out important experiments. And today, we have signed a MOU with DBT, where he is the minister for carrying out microgravity experiments. Now, dear friends, our country is in the fast growth, and for that, R&D is very, very important. Industry is very, very important. Startup companies are very, very important. And innovation and entrepreneurship is very, very important. I think this RISE conclave is, entire thing is rolling around that theme. And if you come to space activities, I don't want to dwell today on our achievements and accomplishments, but I would like to tell one thing. Today, in the space activity, we have done almost 105 launch vehicle missions and something around 135 satellite missions. Each and every mission, if I look at, I think the NAL role is there. And I think let us give a very big hand to them. I don't want to tell in terms of acoustic testing, in terms of internal testing, recent air breathing propulsion testing. I think everywhere their contribution is there. I think it is not appropriate for a ISRO person to claim full credit. I think the lot of credit should go to NAL lab for your wonderful contribution. And not only NAL lab, CSIR labs. CSIR, I think I can talk for lot of time, but each and every one of your labs. For example, take NML as a lab. Lot of support they have given. And Karakudi, where Madam was there, lot of coating related activities. I think so much contribution has come from CSIR lab. I think let us work together. Now coming to these activities, our space applications are contributing for food security, water security, nation security, energy security, and security of each and every one of us. And in this area, we have to work together and take the country forward. Now, dear friends, when we talk about Viksit Bharat, the Honorable Prime Minister's vision and guidance, and I am 100% sure our country is going to become a developed country before we celebrate 100 years of independence. Please understand, a country, when we got independence in 1947, 97.5% people are below the poverty line. You know what is meant by poverty line? I am from a village, and when I was studying 5th standard or 7th standard, that time frame, 50% people only were taking food more than one time per day. A country which was having below poverty line, today we have grown and even bypassed UK, and economically we have reached the 4th position. Please understand, reaching 4th position is not that easy. And our minister is a doctor. I think he can appreciate better. When we got independence, the average life of Indians were just 32 years. And from that 32 years, today, just almost, you please, what type of contribution the health sector has done. And when COVID came, the COVID, I think let us salute our honorable minister always used to make 2040, Indian will land on moon with Indian flag and declare there that in few more years, India is going to become a developed country. I think let us work towards that, Viksit Bharat 2047. Let us work together. And I have to once again thank your secretary, Kalachelvi, for ensuring the co-secretaries are here in this stage. Only because of her warm welcome, we are all here. My department is here. I think when we talk about a country's growth, the individual cannot do great thing. It is a teamwork that only can do great thing. Let us do work together and take this country to greater and greater heights. Let me thank Honorable Minister for taking all the pains to reach here and going every stall I was seeing. He was spending lot of energy and time to understand. I think under his guidance, solely in the science and technology area, I don't have any doubt we will grow much higher levels. Thank you. Jai Hind.
Thank you very much, sir, for your inspiring address. NAL has prepared a patent portfolio for startups for commercialization. Startups can benefit to scale up their business. I request our Honorable Minister to release the patent portfolio, please. Thank you very much, sir. One of the key highlights of today's program is the exchange of MOUs and technology between CSIR lab, reflecting the strong partnership between research institutions and industry for translating innovation into societal and economic impact. Ceremony in the presence of our Honorable Minister. Handing over of 30 HP Wankel engine under ಓಪನ್ ಆಗಿದೆ ಓಪನ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಚಾರಿ ಕೈ ಹಿಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳೋದೆಲ್ಲ ಹೇಳ್ಬೇಕು ನೀನು ಕರೆಕ್ಟಾಗಿ ಹೇಳ್ಬೇಕು ತಾನೆ The next is the CFTRI product launch of Bug Buster, licensed to Mrs. Reroute Organic Private Limited. CFTRI product launch, Bugbuster, licensed to Mrs. Reroot Organic Private Limited, a revolutionary antimicrobial peptide from Indian fermented food, offering robust protection against deadly pathogens while preserving beneficial gut microbiome. Its stability and safety mark is as a game changer for food safety and therapeutics. The next one is the MOU with Indian Institute of Technology with Dharwad and CSIR NAL for development and characterization of functional coatings, crystal plasticity modeling, and computational materials engineering. For research, academic, technical, and capacity building activities in areas of artificial intelligence, machine learning, high performance computing, data science modeling, simulation, healthcare, AI, scientific computing, and other interdisciplinary research domains. Yeah. CSIR CFTR MOU with Dharti Foundation, IIT Dharwad, to promote and nurture innovative startups in the areas of biosciences, innovation, sustainable food, and agri-tech. They shall collaborate in facilitation of capacity building programs and training workshops for pre-incubation and incubation programs. Next one is an MOU between CSIR CFTRI and Bengaluru Bio Innovation Center to collaborate and utilize both parties' scientific expertise and infrastructure to strengthen collaborative programs in food technology innovation, jointly develop and support food-based innovations, product development, and technology translation for regional agricultural commodities. Congratulations to all the partnering organizations. We wish these collaborations great success. Ladies and gentlemen, it is now my distinct honor to invite our Honorable Minister of State for Science and Technology to address this august gathering. Under his leadership, India's scientific enterprise has witnessed global scientific engagement. May I request our Honorable Minister to kindly deliver the inaugural address.
On the dais, Director General CSIR and Secretary DSIR, Dr. N. Kalai Selvi, Chairman ISRO, Secretary Department of Science, Department of Space, Dr. Narayanan, the three directors who are participating, Dr. Palishkar, Dr. Girdhar, Dr. Patro. I can see the faculty members over here from different departments and labs, startups, students, ladies and gentlemen. This RISE conclave, which Dr. Kalai Selvi was trying to define out to you, was a very thoughtful idea, motivated simultaneously by two or three goals. A, that as you would all appreciate, that startup is a relatively newer phenomena in this country. And in 2014, we were just about 350 or 400. And it caught up and got momentum, received momentum, only after Prime Minister made a call in his Independence Day address from the ramparts of Red Fort. That was in 2015, and he said, "Start up India, stand up India." And outside the scientific fraternity, I can say out of my own experience, there are many among the common citizens who actually were finding it difficult to make out what it is all about. In fact, I also received calls. What is it? Do we have to stand up? We have to start up? You have to run up? What is it? So it was quite a novel concept in India. But after the Prime Minister spoke about it, it became virtually a mass campaign, and then the startup policies were introduced, a new ecosystem developed. And today we are close to 230,000, ranked number 3 globally. And our 230,000 odd startups have generated almost 25 lakh jobs in this country. So In other words, it is easy to start up, not that easy to sustain a startup or to rise to the next level of entrepreneurship. And for that, what you need is continuous value addition, continuous sustained endeavor to rise to the next level of innovation, which obviously would require research. So hence this R in this rise, and I. So research and innovation. Without this, it's difficult to sustain a startup. And even more important than that, which I've always not been shy of advocating, is a very strong, robust industry linkage. In fact, most of the success stories where I've been personally involved, we have had an industry linkage right from day one. In fact, going to the extent of asking the industry, are you okay with this project? Otherwise, I abandon it even before I start. And allow the industry to do their kind of mapping or their kind of suggestions or reorientation of our project models. So hence the E. So to combine all these four components to make the third component, the S, the startup sustainable, we have this concept of RISE, of bringing all these four components together under single roof. And the second important goal was that soon after this government came in 2014, there has been a determined effort, at least in many of the departments that I am associated with, that I said we have to pull the government of India out of Vigyan Bhavan. Most of such events in the earlier years were held in Delhi, because it's easy to do that. It doesn't require that much of effort. The logistics are in place. You just have to book a government venue and everything else is taken care of. But our experience, even in the other departments, like for example, I'm also dealing with governance and public administration. We started the process of having regional conferences, all India conferences, but in different regions. So we went up to Northeast, for example, up to Itanagar. If we went to North, we went up to Ladakh, and so on and so forth. So same pattern we have emulated over here. We were there in Chandigarh, we were there in Chennai, in Northeast we were in Guwahati, and now we are in Bengaluru. So you can understand there's been a lot of thinking behind having an event like this, not just another academic event out of an annual calendar. There's a deep thought behind it, and the success of it would be measured in the terms of what are the outcomes and what is the follow-up done. And before I think you can switch it off. And before I say anything more, the question would be, why so much of emphasis on startups? You hear most of us talking about startups. Why so? Because it sounds good, it sounds very idealistic. We are into research, we are into nation building, as Dr. Narayan said, we are into Viksit Bharat. But the point is that when we talk of the overall growth of the country, the overall economy, no government anywhere in the world, whichever the political party, can provide a job to each and every individual. Many of us in electoral politics say that in election. But by the time you would also got used. None of them are able to do it. It's not possible. It's not possible at all. And today is the time where you have to be very forthcoming with your electorate. And therefore, what else then? Then comes these avenues. If in just about last, say, 11 years, because the startup call was made by the Honorable Prime Minister in 2015 and the policy came the following year, it's been just 10 years. If in 10 years we could generate 24 to 25 lakh jobs out of these startups in this country, that means there is some meaning to this. And the other reason for the emphasis is that today we are part of a global world. So we can't isolate ourselves from the rest of the world. So we have to follow the trends which are being followed by the rest of the developed world. We have to follow global benchmarks. And in order to live up to global benchmarks, we have also to live up to the global strategies. And third, why we are emphasizing is, which sounds little undiplomatic, speaking in the high-tech city of Bengaluru, is that since the startup movement took up in a big way, mostly from Bengaluru, across the country, the message somehow, consciously or subconsciously, went that it is, startup means IT, startup means high-tech, startup means PhD, is not meant for others. But today, out of 1 lakh and 2 lakh and 30,000, we have more than 50% who come from tier 2 cities, tier 3 cities. Not majority of them from Bengaluru, not majority of them from Hyderabad, not majority of them either from Delhi. And Dr. Kalai Selvi was with me just about exactly a week back last Saturday, the Lavender Festival we have started annual. That's been another success story of the Aroma mission, where we have right now about 7,000 to 8,000. And many of them are not even graduates. So we have also to convey this message loudly and convincingly that this startup option is available for all. You need to have passion. You need to have commitment. You need to be technology savvy. You need to be working consistently hard. And we are there to provide you technology, to provide you hand-holding. You have to be good at the task that you are doing, regardless of your number of formal degrees. And then our exclusive domain is not necessarily IT, it could be agriculture rather, which is born and driven by CFTRI. So that is why I think Indian startups for Indian setup. As I always say, even as a medical practitioner, Indian regimes for Indian patients and Indian data for Indian solutions. So this is something, because otherwise we will be just emulating, reading what we find in the Western literature. We would not be able to make the best use of the resources which are inherent to us. And therefore, in the last 10, 11 years, the other development that has happened is that we have a beautiful ecosystem built in, which is very supportive of startups, which is very supportive of entrepreneurship, which is also very supportive of aptitude-driven sources of livelihood. And the greatest pillar of that ecosystem is NEP 2020. On the way, I came across a very senior scientist, and she told me, sir, many of the PhDs are still finding themselves out of job. Because I keep, researching in my mind. So I said, this will be taken care in next 7 years. Because many of them who are not equal to a job, are not employable, and still PhD, are the ones who have done PhD by default. You chose medical subjects in class 12 to become doctors. You could not. Then what did you do? BSc biology? You paid in civil services? You could not. Then what did you do? MSc? Tried some UGC teaching, you couldn't. Then what did you do? You did PhD. You became a scientist. You neither become PhD by choice, nor PhD by aptitude, nor PhD by too much of attachment or commitment to that subject, but you have to have a job. So you report to Dr. Kalai Selvi and become her asset or liability. We will not have that now. Suppose you chose a subject to become doctor, abandon it after class 12. We may be getting, I can foresee this in the next 10, 15 years in this country, the number of PhDs will get reduced. But qualitatively, they will be very high. About 10 years back, I was sitting with the Vice Chancellor of the Cambridge University, who was a very elderly man because they don't have a retirement age there over. He was in his 80s, and somehow he was in touch with me because he was also a teacher of medicine, in fact, of microbiology. So he said, Doc, hats off to these boys and girls from India. My university would be shut, PhD would be shut if I didn't have Indian students. He was complimenting me. When I went, I asked myself, I said, was it a compliment? No. Because there, a person will go for a PhD only if he actually committed himself to do so. Here you go, get a trophy of Cambridge PhD. You might be a PhD in biotechnology, come back and join a private company in a computer sector. So we were sort of disconnected from the aptitudes and were trying to correlate everything. A degree became a trophy. So for that reason, I think this campaign is important. And in the last 1 decade, we have also tried to explore areas which have either remained hitherto unexplored or underexplored. Dr. Narayanan was talking about 2047, but 2047 value addition will come from these areas. And for that, those areas which are rather unexplored, one is the space, where you had decimal economy. Today you have close to 9 billion, and they hope to be 40, 45 billion in the next 8-10 years. And again, because the strategies have been global, we have opened up to the private sector. All this progress, Dr. Narayanan will bear me out, has happened only last 5 years. And in fact, in the industry meet that we were having, he and I together about 2 days back in Ahmednagar, a known industrialist rose up and said, the progress that India has made in 5 years in the space sector is comparatively possibly better than what the US and NASA did in 70 years if you were in the terms of year by year. Because the strategy is global. We have started to explore these underexplored sectors through global strategy. The other would be, of course, oceans. We have started deep ocean mission. I'm not going to talk about that because we don't have that kind of audience available. Third is biotechnology. There also we have opened up to the private sector. I think Prime Minister himself was forthcoming enough to roll out a Bio E3 policy. And that's why we have started integrating all these institutes across the departments. And much of the work being done in CFTRI, a CSIR institute, is actually also being done under the Department of Biotechnology. So why don't? So also in other domains, whether it's genes, whether it's life sciences, etc. And then, of course, the other unexplored area, which has also caught up only in the last 6-7 years, is Himalayas, where again, Dr. Kalai Selvi is leading the aroma mission, the floriculture mission. We started off just in about 2018 or so. As I spoke about the aroma, similarly, the floriculture has become, you can now order our 55 to 60% patents are now India residing patents. So that's also emerging phenomena happening. Our PhDs, we are now ranked 3 from 7 and hope to be number 2, taking over the US. And then the other part of why this rise is important is we have to also give up. The point is the scenario is changing, the mindset is not changing. The cynicism is still haunting us. Many amongst us would say, so many PhDs, but what is the use? The quality of papers is not enough. If you go deep study, every year, at the end of the year, there's an analysis done. In 2025 analysis, out of 100 top citations, 100 top references, when we write a paper, we do use references, all of us know, 10% have been from India, Indian papers, which means our quality is also increasing. It's not so, because now we have placed mechanism in place. You can't get a paper published from a Noida journal and get through into PhD. We are rating that as well. And host of other, these missions started, the National Quantum Mission started in 2023. We charged 8 years. We have just 3 years. We have already completed half the targets. We have completed 1,000 kilometer square communication target, which was 4 years target. Our AI mission, we have one of the institutes which is going to deal with that. This is also a dedicated mission with 4 pillars, the compute pillar, the data, which data set which they are also dealing with, new innovations, future skills. In the defense sector, from importers, we have become exporters. I was in the defense tech. I do this for my own education as well. And I was amazed. Nearly 23,000 crore of export in 25-26. And I was going through the list, the BrahMos missiles, assured purchase by Vietnam, by Indonesia, and some of the European countries. Similarly, in these 10 years also, when we are also talking of 12 years of this government, many of the enabling programs, the Nidhi program was started for students, for startups. WISE Kiran was started again in 2018. Then we also started dedicated programs for weaker sections, the STI hubs for scheduled castes, scheduled tribes. For universities, these programs have become so popular that many of the universities are availing of it. And of course, our NRF is meant to democratize, because the grievance was that the first-rated institutes like IITs and IASC would take the bulk of government funding, not to grudge them because they had that kind of a ecosystem. So we developed this ARF model, and to accelerate the private sector, the RDI, 1 lakh crore, I think one of the rare examples where government has come forward to fund the private sector, so that they can, because they also have to change their mind. They were never prepared that one day we'll open up to nuclear sector. So for them also there is something new happening. So a businessman, smart businessman, will put in his hand only when he sees profit. So initially he would require to be pushed. And therefore this RISE conclave in Bengaluru, we have, though try to cover all the domains, but we try to focus on certain major 2 or 3 themes here, as was being mentioned by importance of this. And we also have ISRO, so we need of integration. The aviation market and the aviation sector has chale. Many took it just
and we can provide you services. And we have our incubation center also in our premises, so that also you can use it for your own purposes. So this is what I just want to just give to you. And finally, I just want to conclude by saying that there is a difference actually between the innovator and innovation. So it is a very, very common understanding that who is innovator actually. So innovator is the person who sees what everybody sees actually. But he thinks what nobody thinks. So we have to be the innovator to take our invention to the market. So with this, I will end my particular presentation and go to the next session. Thank you.
Thank you, Vasant sir. I would now like to call upon Shri Unikrishnan VT to give about common misconceptions about IT. Unikrishnan is working as Scientist D at CSIR NAL. He is a registered patent agent, a nominated trainer under the National Intellectual Property Awareness Mission, and a facilitator under the Startup Intellectual Property Protection Scheme. Ladies and gentlemen, please give him a big hand.
So, this coating has been tested extensively for all the applications related to the cooling technology to be put onto the buildings. And this coating has a very high SRI value. SRI is a term which is a parameter which has been commonly followed all across the globe to measure how efficient a PDRC coating is. So anything greater than 100 is considered to be a very good coating. And this coating has an SRI value of about 116, which is tested in an NABL accredited lab. So this has very high solar reflectance and very high thermal emittance, very good adhesion onto the surface, and high durability to the regular wear and tear when it is put on an outdoor exposed conditions. So this finds application, as I said, in the energy, environment and construction sectors. Then we have several layers of the bilayers, and then the stress absorbing soft layer gives an advantage of this coating to resist any crack propagation and also gives enhanced protection to the surface. So the solid particle erosion test has been extensively carried out on these coatings. Also the corrosion tests have been done both in the salt spray chamber and also in the also the hot corrosion test carried out at CSIR SECRI, and it has qualified about for temperatures nearing 500 degrees centigrade. So thickness of the coating is around 11 microns, and this is a very promising coating for this for the application on wind turbine blades for providing the erosion and corrosion resistant applications. So thank you one and all.
Thank you, Lakshmi. That was an impressive list of patents. Scientist at Center for Carbon Fibers at CSIR NAL with a work experience of 22 years. He did his MTech and PhD from IIT Madras. He is awarded with CSIR Raman Research Fellowship at University of Edinburgh, UK. ISAMPE Award, CSIR NAL Technology Shield as well. He has published 4 book chapters, 13 research papers and 1 patent. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Dr. Naveen.
Yeah, very good evening to one and all. Patents from material science clusters of NAL. So the first one is about shape memory polymer. So in this patent, the authors have claimed that they would developed thermoset-based shape memory polymer. As we know, the conventional polymers have the limitation of slow recovery time, and also it is not transparent. So these problems have been addressed and overcome in this patent. So they have made shape memory thermoset-based shape memory polymers using diuric dimethylamide and PEG-DME based chemicals, and it is working based on the UV photopolymerization process. The unique selling proposition of this material is it is biocompatible and also biodegradable. The process is very simple, and it is claimed that 100% recovery is seen in these polymers, and also a faster recovery time of 20 seconds. It is high optical transparency, and also it's lower cost. So it is applied in biomedical applications and also morphing wing structures. If you see the global market of shape memory polymers, it is expected to grow from a massive $3 billion from 1.35 in next few years time. Next. So then our next patent is of about the preparation of water-based piezo ceramic compatibility. As you can see, it's about 2.4%. And also it is suitable for all type of materials. That is the unique feature of this patent. It can be directly coated on materials like metals, polymers, as well as composite structure, all complicated structures. It can be coated. And also it is having an improved dielectric strength and a wider thermal stability range. And also it is covering the large surface area for the conformal mapping. And if you see the USPs, none of the resin-based chemicals are used in this, like epoxy, lacquer, or acrylic resins are not used in this. So it is basically water-based piezo ceramic paint. And also it is used for non-destructive testing as well as structural health monitoring purposes. If you see the applications, it is used for aerospace defense as well as in automobile sectors. The market value is expected to grow from 1.9 billion US dollars to the massive 3.85 billion by year end of 2033 at a CAGR of 10%. Next one, please. So our next patent is about development of high curie temperature and lead-free piezo ceramic materials. It is of TRL level 4. The unique feature of this patent is it is lead-free piezo ceramic developed at NIL with a higher D33 coefficient, and also it is a ideal candidate for sensors operating at high temperatures. It can be used as a substitute for materials where we consider both the high curie temperature as well as the D33 coefficient. This curing point up to 800 degrees has been evaluated during the experiment. And it is having a moderate piezoelectric constant of around 100 picocoulombs per Newton. And also it's having high electrical resistivity at higher temperature. If you see the applications, we have aerospace, strategic, as well as industrial sector. And this market value is going to be improved from about 778 million US dollars by end of 2033. Next one, please. So we have another patent, which is the development of hexagonal boron nitride bodies for low temperature hot pressing method. As we know, the challenge of developing hexagonal boron nitride with high density is limited by two challenges. One is because of that strong covalent bond involved in that boron nitride, as well as also because of low self-diffusion coefficient. So these two problems have been addressed. Acid itself used as the sintering additive in this process. So because of this, it is having advantages like low temperature hot pressing around, it is reducing this sintering temperature by 600 to 800 degrees centigrade, which is energy efficient, as well as the hexagonal boron dense materials having the lesser porosity of 0.2 to 1.9, which is very much lesser than 2%, which is significant. And also it is because of high energy savings, it is low equipment cost involved and also low maintenance cost. So it's used in electronic sectors as well as defense sectors, and its market value is expected to be increasing from 957 million US dollars to 1.57 billion US dollars by end of 2035. We have another patent, interesting patent in the field of shape memory alloys. So this patent is about shaping tool assembly as well as the method of making that shape memory alloy for stent rings. So in this invention, the shaping tool as well as process for manufacturing the stent graft rings have been claimed. Also this invention includes the whole set of tool like shaping tool components, process for wire wrapping, also tool assembly, and also the heat treatment process involved in making the SME. So the unique features are including the shape setting, suitable for shape shading and also for complex geometries. It is a single step process wherein both the shape setting as well as heat treatment process are covered in this patent. So also another novelty in this patent, they have used a close split type cylindrical shaping tool instead of conventional open pin type tool, as we can see in the figure. And also this tool having a self-locking tool design, which is customized here at NAL, and also it's having a guide assembly. As we know, the shape memory alloys are used in biomedical healthcare, and this market value, if you see the about 15 billion US dollars to 29 billion US dollars by 2030 is very significant. Next one. Next, we move on to carbon fibers. So this particular patent is about the development of steam stitching unit for the making of acrylic fiber, which is the precursor for carbon fiber. This is an important step at the carbon fiber making. So compared to the conventional methods of steam stitching, these authors have developed compatible, as well as there is a flexibility of limiting the steam and fiber flow, and also the minimal first generation and breakage of filaments involved, which is directly influencing the mechanical properties of the acrylic and carbon fibers. So if you see the USPs, there is a separate pathways provided in the equipment for both steam and fiber movement, both at the entry and the exit of the equipment. Also, it can be maintained 50 to 20% of flow at the fiber movement slot. And so basically it's a multi-hole, a multi-stage, variable area orifice concept-based equipment designed indigenously at our carbon fiber facility. So it's basically a lower cost, compact design, as well as it can be considered as a substitute for the imported machines. So if you see the application, obviously carbon fiber is used in defense, aerospace and textiles. So the market value is expected to grow from 2.1 billion to 3.8 billion by 2034. So for making polymer composites for aircraft structure, the resins are equally important that of carbon fibers. So we have two patents on epoxy resins. The first one is involved multifunctional epoxy resin formulation with improved mechanical as well as hygroscopic properties. So this is of TRL 6. And this is a unique feature of this patent is it is indigenously developed right from the raw material to the end product. Everything is developed indigenously in our NAL. So based on tri and tetra functional epoxies, and also this homogeneous resin, the equipment also designed in our facility. And this resin found to be homogeneous as well as it's having excellent thermal, mechanical as well as hot wet properties. And exclusively there is a moisture absorption study was made for about 160 days till the saturation of the samples have been reached. We can see in the picture there are sample specimens of epoxy as per the ASTM standard. So these samples were kept in the humidity chamber as per ASTM standard for 160 days till it reaches saturation. Again it was subjected to mechanical testing to see how much property is retained. We found that up to 60 to 80% of the mechanical properties were retained. So the USPs are in the curing cycle, we have ensured that the controlled heating and cooling rates are maintained to avoid any thermal shock to the product, and also combination of tensile, mechanical and hygroscopic properties are obtained. So the process is easy and also significant retention, and is being used aerospace, defense, and also automobiles and windmills, so that we are covering both strategic and also societal sectors. So if you see the previous one, if you see the market value, it is going to be increasing from 1.26 to massive 2.1 billion by the year of 2034. So we have our last patent. This is also about epoxy resin. We have developed a alternative to the existing epoxy resin system at our facility. It is having high heat resistance in both dry and wet state, and low reactivity at room temperature, and it's having a curing temperature of 180 degree centigrade. So the cured resin found to be having around 65 to 80 megapascal of tensile strength, about 2.8 to 3.2 tensile modulus, and 1.6 to 1.8 of fracture toughness. And it's also used in aerospace and defense. The highlight is this is claimed to be used for making carbon fiber prepregs. And the market value is expected to increase 1.8 to 2 billion by the year of 2033. Thank you.
Thank you, Naveen. We now have Mr. Nadeem Masood from Structure Technology Cluster. Mr. Nadeem Masood is Scientist F in Advanced Composites Division in NAL. He holds a master's degree in aerospace structures. His research focuses on aerospace composite structure, structural health monitoring, distributed fiber optic sensing, finite element analysis, and post-buckling behavior of composite airframe structures. He has contributed to several national aerospace programs. He has also received the CSIR NAL Young Scientist Award in 2017. He has authored 5 international journal papers and a patent in the field of SHM. Please welcome Nadeem Masood.
Thank you, ma'am. Good evening. Thank you for the introduction. So I'll be presenting here few of the key patents developed under Structures Technology Cluster of CSIR NAL. I have categorized like a total 5 patents I'm having here, and which can be categorized like further categorized like one is from the manufacturing of composite. One has an application in the medical field, and remaining 3 fall under the category of structural health monitoring of fiber optics. Next, yeah. I'm sure these patents offer excellent opportunities for the technology licensing, startup creation, and industry collaboration. Let me see one by one. The first patent is on, can you go previous? Is on the vacuum enhanced resin transfer molding process. This technology is used for manufacturing of composite parts using resin infusion method. Compared to conventional manufacturing of method such as VRTM, this reduces infrastructure's requirement, lower energy consumption, and decrease production cost of the structure. This has multiple USPs over the conventional methods. And the major USP would be this can be worked out at the room, the resin can be infused at the room temperature or a little elevated temperature. With TRL8, we have used many SARAS PT3 components infused using this technology, and it has a strong potential for application in other aerospace applications such as UAVs and wind turbine blades. Next, please. Second patent, this one is a spin-off from aerospace industry and has an application in medical field. This is improved spring magnetic latch mechanism to improve stability, comfort, and walkability. The design of this design is lightweight. It has multiple USPs. The first one is design is lightweight, user-friendly, and affordable. This technology has significant potential in healthcare and rehabilitation sector. Third one, next one, please. The third patent focuses on a structural health monitoring. This is a technology enables real-time damage detection of structures such as aircraft, It has applications, can be implemented in bridge, dam, other applications. So compared to conventional SHM structural health monitoring technology, this method requires reapplying. Sorry, conventional method required the reapplying of load during periodic inspection. This particular one, what we have during periodic inspection as well as during the baseline method, baseline measurement. So in this particular one, there is the application of external load to the structure is eliminated during the periodic inspection. This technology can support startups working in aerospace maintenance, infrastructure monitoring, and smart sensing solution. Next one. This patent is a system with real-time monitoring of resin flow during composite manufacturing. The first one which I presented the patent, that is the resin infusion method. And this basically supports the previous patent. It is very important to know when we do the resin infusion to composite structures, very important to know that the resin should reach each and every part of the structure. The small dry patch may lead to the rejection of these parts. So during composite production, it is important to ensure that, this system basically combines software, GUI-based software and hardware and optical sensor all together. That makes a system where in the resin flow during the infusion can be visualized in real time. This technology has a strong potential in smart manufacturing, process automation, and Industry 4.0 application. Next one, please. The fifth patent is basically fiber brake grating sensor packaging for railway application. So, as we know, for these fiber brake grating sensors are fragile in nature, and this can easily and train monitoring in real time. So the fiber brake grating sensor can be installed over the railway track at multiple locations, and this can be, and the one is the monitoring of the rail movement, as well as the patent also includes the packaging of the sensor to protect from the environment. It is easy to install, highly reliable, and immune to electromagnetic interference, which is a major drawback with the other type of sensors. Although developed for railway application, it can further adopt for monitoring of critical infrastructures such as bridges, dam, and other things. So with this opens opportunities for railway technology, infrastructure monitoring, and digital asset management. I think this is the last one. So with this patent demonstrated that NAL CSIR NAL's capability in developing innovative technologies that address real industrial and social needs. So and also offer strong opportunities for startups, MSMEs, and industry partners to develop products, service, and business solutions. So with this, I request next speaker to take over. Present other patents. Thank you.
Thank you, Nadeem. Now we have Mrs. Devashri Kumar from the UAV division of System Engineering Cluster. Devashri is working as Scientist F in UAV division for more than 15 years, and she has a lot of experience in design and development of algorithms in formation flying of multiple MAVs, target detection and tracking control for surveillance applications. Her expertise in computer vision has done currently major sensor payload for precision agriculture as well. She has won NAL Excellence Awards with CSR Fellowship and authored many publications. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Devashri.
Hello everyone. I take this opportunity to give all the brief glimpse of all the patent profiles which we have done under the system cluster. The first one is visibility measuring device used for low and high visibility conditions. This is our Drishti transformator, and the main technology overview of this is it provides real-time data for calculating the runway visual range, and it enables safe aircraft takeoff and landings. It is suitable for various civil and defense applications, and dual range visibility measurement capability, and it is high photometric accuracy with a stable calibration methodology. The various unique selling points of this invention is it is a dual range visibility measurement capability, and it has high photometric accuracy, low maintenance with modular electronics, and it has seamless integration with automated aviation meteorological systems. It can be used for various Indian Navy and defense purposes, and it has a high market value. Please move to next slide. Yeah. This is the second patent, which is a multi-layer microwave radiation absorbing coating and a process for the preparation thereof. This is basically, this reduces the effect of electromagnetic radiation. Coating is capable of reducing radar cross-section area, and it cannot be detected by enemy radars. So the main selling proposition of this invention is it is having a multi-layer coating which is providing greater than 75% of milliwatts absorption in the entire X band, and the coating with low density and good adhesion, arranging reflecting layers in the descending order of their total reflection from the substrate for achieving optimum performance. The low radar dual band shared aperture antenna for aircraft. It is at TRL4. The technology to treat the medical patients. So, but the initial screening is required at that time, and it can be movable to one place to another. So it is very easy, portable and packaged device, and very user friendly also. Thank you, and it has a lot of market potential. Thank you.
Thank you, Devshri. Ladies and gentlemen, we are now moving into what promises to be one of the most engaging and insightful sessions of the day, our panel discussion. Today's panel brings about together a distinguished group of scientists from NAL who have diverse perspectives, valuable experiences, and deep knowledge of the topic at hand. This session is an opportunity to hear candid insights and explore different viewpoints and gain practical takeaways that can help us to navigate the opportunities and challenges ahead. I would like to welcome upon our first panel speaker, Dr. Sujata, Cluster Chairman for Materials and Structures Cluster. Ladies and gentlemen, please give her a big hand. Dr. Ravindranath Nair, Cluster Chairman for Systems Engineering. Dr. Somendu Jana, Cluster Chairman for Aerothermal Cluster. Mr. Vineet Kumar, Cluster Chairman for Aircraft Cluster. Also, please welcome our advisor, M&A, Dr. Harish Barshelia. A little brief about Dr. Harish Barshelia. After obtaining his MTech and PhD degree in physics from IIT Delhi in 1993 and 96 respectively, Dr. Barshelia moved to University of Missouri, St. Louis, and at the City University of New York, USA for postdoctoral fellowships. He joined CSIR NAL in 99 and is currently working as Chief Scientist at Surface Engineering Division. He has published 290 peer-reviewed papers, and 3 of the technologies developed by this team has been commercialized. Dr. Barshelia has delivered 170 invited lectures and has guided several undergraduate, postgraduate, doctoral and postdoctoral students as well. Please give him a big hand. I request our moderator, Dr. Harish Barshelia, to take over the session.
A very good evening to all of you. Welcome to this session on promoting and supporting startups, exploitation of NAL's patent portfolios by startups. My special thanks are due to the startups who made it possible to attend this event. You might have seen that there are more than 100 startups who have attended today's program. My special thanks are due to Mrs. Pooja for introducing all the panel members. They are experts in their own fields. And you are free to ask the questions to my panel of experts. And of course, they will be supported by the IPR experts from our PBMD department. As we have heard the previous speakers, currently CSIR NAL has 30 patents in force, and they are in different areas of research, starting from, say, shape memory alloys to materials to coatings to aircraft technologies. Just to put the things into perspective, I did a small analysis yesterday. And in the last 5 years, as has been mentioned by one of my colleagues, We have transferred 18 technologies to 26 industries and PSUs with a total TOT cost of about 40 crore. And has been discussed in different forums, the TOT cost is in the staggered manner, starting from say 1 year to say 5 years. So as on today, out of these 40 crores, we have already realized 16 crore as on today. The aim of this discussion is to address the various commercial exploitation of various patents which are available to CSIR NAL. Of course, to moderate this session, what I have done is that I have outlined a very important key points for the discussion with my panel of experts. And these are the kind of questions they are generally asked by the industry. Whenever some industry comes to us, so they'll have a large number of questions. So about 10 to 12 number of questions we have outlined, and my experts will answer those questions. And in case you need more information, that can be provided by our IPR department. So we'll be touching upon, for example, if the IPR is exclusive or non-exclusive, what is the cost of the technology, whether the payment terms are, for example, one-time payment or the staggered payment, and the technical support for the know-how, whatever we have transferred to the industry. So I will just begin my discussion with a query to Dr. M. Sujata, who is chair of the Materials and Structures cluster. So, Madam, I request you to kindly let us know whether CSIR NAL allows patent assignment or sale to a startup rather than the IP licensing. What I meant is that, supposing, for example, if I have a patent, whether I can directly sell this patent to the industry and then move on to the next kind of invention. So I request you to kindly comment on that one.
Thank you, Dr. Harish. As you have already mentioned, the idea of doing any patenting and making a license, getting a license approval is to ensure that the developed patented technology or the know-how reaches the industry and the startups. So if we need to achieve this, it is important that we do this patent licensing for a period of time rather than directly selling the patent, so that large number, on a non-exclusive basis, so that number of industries can be given this technology, so that large number of people produce this, and then it is available for most of the users. So we don't really encourage selling the patent license rather than rather than that we actually license it for a period of time on a non-exclusive basis.
So I would like to add one more thing to what Madam has spoken about. We are a government funded institution, so the exclusive thing is, in most of the cases, it is not allowed. We give our technologies on non-exclusive basis, and unlike the private industries, the patent is not sold; it is licensed to different users, right?
Yes.
So my second question is again to Dr. Sujata. This is regarding IPR indemnity for the patented know-how which is transferred by CSIR NAL. What I mean is that in many cases, or in rare cases, there could be infringement of the invention by the other industries or other users. So what are your views on this particular aspect?
In case there are any problems that are arisen during when after the patent is transferred, NL or any other CSIR lab would extend the technical support in defending the technology to the licensee, and but we will not enter into the commercial terms. The financial implications that that are incurred in fighting a legal case have to be borne by the licensee,
Yes.
rather than NL support. But all the technical support in defending the case will be provided by NL.
Yeah, thank you. So now I'll ask Dr. Nair, who is the chair of Systems Engineering Cluster. This is regarding that the support what we provide to the startups for commercializing the technology. I mean that what are the added benefits and the advantages to such startups which you offer to the industry?
Good evening. Suppose if the FAME is already partnering with the CSR NAL is having a lot of that facilities, advanced facilities for regarding the processing, like autoclaves or the other. We have that in materials installation. There are many advanced level labs are there for the processing of the materials, etc. So once if the FAME is the startup is partnering with NAL, so the FAME can avail all the advanced facilities of CSR NAL on a reasonable basis at a reasonable cost. Further, and also at a discounted price or rate, they can avail some of this lab, use all these lab test facilities, and also CSR is having a very good certification team. So they will support if the firm wants to do certification, the certification process also will be encouraged from the CSR NAL. In addition to that, if the firm wants to do some improvements in the technology or modifications of the product, something that features, the technical team will give proper adequate support for the firm so that it can be properly transferred to the market.
Basically, what he's trying to say is that if you take our technology, so whatever the support and infrastructural support is there, technical support will be there, that will be provided to you at a very discounted rate, because some of these facilities are unique in the country. So a very nominal charge will be charged to you, and then you can use this facility. Thank you, Dr. Nair. My next question is that, which is a very important question, that is the commercial terms offered by CSR NAL for licensing any technology. I mean that whether the license fee is one-time payment or it is in the staggered manner. And of course, you can also highlight regarding the royalty as well as the equity, if there is any equity in the
as a product, then the royalty charges also will be incurred based on that reasonable rate. Further, that one additional feature is that, or advantage is that the firm will get the firm will not give at a one time the full amount. It can be done as the license fee can be remitted in a staggered manner, 3 or 4 times, depending on the milestone deliverables, like but that the issue of issuance of documents or technical documents, as well as the training, and also it will the CSR will support when the firm is transferring the technology to the industries. So this is the advantage.
Basically, we don't want to burden the startup in the beginning itself. So initially, generally, what my colleagues in the IPR department they do is that maybe 15 to 20% when you sign the agreement, and when you transfer the know-how document to the firm or the startup, we charge another 20%, and then if there is some progress in setting up the infrastructure and things like that, we'll charge another 20%. And once everything is done, then we'll charge the lump sum, whatever the remaining 30% is there. I think that's the mode we operate. Thank you, Dr. Nair.
Thank you.
Now I invite Dr. Jana for his insight on, he is the chairman of the Aerothermal Cluster. Dr. Jana, for example, we have an IP, and then that requires some improvement, and a startup or an industry comes forward for this development. So what is the kind of business model you offer to this startup?
Yeah, first of all, Good evening to everybody. It's a long day waiting for all of us. Thank you, Dr. Harris, for a quick introduction. So regarding means joint work with any startup companies, basically this type of work is guided by the agreement between CSIR NL and startup company. Formally, first of all, we have to sign a MOU. So there are all terms and conditions will be there. As per that, mostly it will be guided. And regarding IPR share, mostly whoever give input, it will go to them. Suppose CSR NL gives input, intellectual input for that particular product or technology, it will be shared by NL as well as vice versa. Like startup, if they provide technical inputs, they will also own the IPR. So joint, that is one case. And
the share of the IPR,
yeah.
For example, if the startup is putting say 50% of the funds to develop that technology, so the share of the IPR will be about 50%. That's what you are trying to tell.
Not about fund.
Yes.
Maybe our friends, they can clarify.
Yes.
So technical input also important.
Yes.
So because IPR is more about technical inputs.
Yes.
Not about cost.
Yes.
So they can give more clarity on that.
Yes. Yeah. I think I can speak on their behalf. For example, you get a project from an industry. So if they are, apart from the technical inputs, what we are talking about, if they put, say, 50% of the project costs, so the IPR becomes 50% depending upon the kind of contributions they are.
Maybe, and final is the agreement between the two
parties. That should be very clear. That should be very clear. Yes. So my
last case, most of the cases to reduce the financial burden, our IPR department license holiday period, I think so. So some freedom is given. Say maybe for 5 years you need not pay license. So by that time they can stabilize their business.
I would not say 5 years. It is about say 2 to 3 years. The moment you start production, maybe after that few months or so, you can start paying the royalty and things like that.
Or startup companies. So these are the scenarios.
Yeah, thank you for that insight. Now I'll request Mr. Vineet Kumar, who is the chair of Aircraft Cluster. Mr. Vineet, supposing, for example, I have a patent with a low TRL or a technology with a low TRL, and if I want to commercialize that one, of course, the TRL has to be, say, 7 to 8 to 9. So what is the kind of the collaborative models which we will offer to the startup or to the industry?
Thank you, Dr. Harish. I hope I am audible to the audience.
A little louder, yeah.
I think in the patent presentations which our colleagues made, you would have noticed several patents which are in the range of TRL 3 or 4. There are also a few patents which are in the range of 8 and 9. So let us distinguish between these two categories just for the sake of clarification. 8 and 9 are the highest readiness levels of the TRLs, which are I would say probably ready for commercial products right away. Whereas 3 to 4, it is kind of intermediate development, where the inventors have taken the technology to certain level, but beyond that, there is a possibility that different industries might want to have different developments on that same technology. Aerospace might take up in a different manner, railways might take up in a different manner, healthcare sector may take up in a different manner. So there is a chances that companies, when they approach NAL for taking the transfer of technology of the medium or low TRL levels, they would like to do further work for their own sector, which may not be relevant to other startups or other industries. So NAL has definitely offers a possibility for joint work beyond a certain patent filing stage. Again, as you mentioned already on the background IP and the foreground IP concepts, so when we develop further on the TRL levels, the background IPs of the side which has developed that particular TRL at the initial stage remains with that party. The other party will share the IP of the foreground depending on in what proportion they are investing the assets. So I think Dr. Jana also has clarified on those matters.
Yes.
So maybe in the investment of cost or investment of their intellectual property valuation, the IPs will be shared. So there are definitely possibilities of working jointly, even though NL has filed a patent, and the patent requires further development to suit that particular industry, we can work together. There is definitely those possibilities exist, and examples also will be there.
Thank you for that insight. My next question to you again is, for example, you are transferring a technology to a startup, and sometimes it requires a lot of capital investment to build up this infrastructure. So whether we can offer them our facilities to develop the prototype, and then subsequently they can test that thing in the market, and then they can commercialize that option. Can you comment on that option?
Yeah, of course, it's a very interesting scenario where even our Honorable Minister also touched up in some sense, sharing the facilities, sharing the, because as we know, we are public funded organization.
Yes.
So, and we also have seen that the patents which we file are not assigned or sold, but they are, non-exclusive licenses are made out of that. So in the similar nature, if a transfer technology partner needs time, or they